Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Urge Artifacts. Today we will be taking a look at the iconic Robert Baratheon's Warhammer from the Game of Thrones series. This is an officially licensed product from JaylicBlades.com and previously ValyrianSteel.com, though that website is still running. I actually have the first edition version of this Warhammer, which was limited to 2,000 pieces and has a nice certificate of authenticity signed by George R.R. Martin. So what we're going to do today is we're going to just take a look at this. This is a prized piece in the collection. When the Game of Thrones series started, Robert is obviously a laid-back king. He's been eating and drinking and sitting for too long, as he says in the series. But when Robert overthrew the Targaryens and smashed Rhaegar's breastplate at the Battle of the Trident with this hammer, he was a beast of a man. So this weapon is truly badass. I believe it says in the books that Ned couldn't even wield it. It was such a big and powerful weapon. Also, stay tuned to the end of the video where I give this my artifact rank. So let's get into it. Alright, so here we have the first edition Robert's Warhammer from Game of Thrones. They do sell the second edition online right now, so you can still get this. Everything is the same except for it just doesn't have that certificate of authenticity with it. But if you want this badass hammer and the wall mount, you can get it. So let's zoom in a little bit first on the certificate. So here's what I'm talking about. Valyrian Steel Collection, Certificate of Authenticity. It's got a nice little write-up on the hammer. Rhaegar fought valiantly, Rhaegar fought nobly, Rhaegar fought honorably, and Rhaegar died. There's George R.R. Martin's signature, limited edition, 2,000 pieces. So it's always nice to have those. The mount itself is really nice too, with the House Baratheon symbol, the big stag, and ours is the Fury. Now, I'm definitely a House Stark guy when it comes to, you know, all the different houses of Game of Thrones, but the Baratheons are just awesome as well. I was glad we got to see Storm's End in the recent House of the Dragon series. Let's just take a look at the hammer a little closer itself. And the first thing you can see is how intimidating this head of the hammer is. Like, just imagine smashing somebody. I imagine that's where it caved in Rhaegar's chest. If you look at the side, and this does feature on both sides, here is once again the House Baratheon symbol, though it's upside down right there. I'll change it in a second. On the ends, there is actually these very sharp points. Like, this is very sharp. There's this nice groove right in here that runs along the outside, or I shouldn't say groove, but a nice spine. And then on the back side, there is also another sharp point. Going over to the underneath is where you could see the Valyrian Steel Collection Warhammer. And if you look closely, I'm trying to get it zoomed in nice and clear. This is number 882 out of 2,000. So I really like that, what they do on these first editions. Going a little bit further down, you're going to see the gold plating along the black handle. And then when we get toward the end, you could see the nice corded grip. And once again, another very sharp tip. And of all the swords that I own and replicas, I will tell you, these 3 points, the end, the back, and the top, are the sharpest points of any weapon replica I've gotten. So really great size. If you look in the description or the website video that I sent, I forget the length of this, but I know it's about 10 pounds. But but I'll put that in the video description. And then here is just the house symbol vertically. And finally, here's a nice video of it mounted up on the wall. That's a Richard the Lionheart replica shield right there. But in zooming in, you could see the mount. You can see how it fits really nicely up there. Here's a nice side shot of the head side of the hammer, and then the back side of the hammer. Really, really awesome piece. I highly suggest it for a Game of Thrones fan. Here we have the hammer itself. You can see the gold plating is just really nice, both on the handles, both on the design, and you could see this is big. So there it is right next to my face. So just imagine, and I keep forgetting, like, these are actually pretty sharp too, though not as sharp as this. Whenever I have friends over the house and they ask me, okay, which one of your weapons would you defend yourself with, or defend, when we're joking around, if you had like a horde of zombies or something coming in, I always say, Robert's hammer, man. Give me that hammer. Give me both sides with the sharpness, the tip, and so forth. And you could see, I really can't fit it in the frame, but here you can see. There we go. There's the whole thing. Okay, so the hammer in all of its glory and so forth. All right, so nice final look at it. Very good. Now, as for my ranking of collectibles, this definitely goes right in A tier, which is the second highest tier on my rankings. I just love this. It's definitely one of my favorite weapon replicas. I bought this when Game of Thrones was running, and I've just loved it ever since. The quality's great. It is relatively rare. I got this during the first edition, so it's nice having that certificate with George R. Martin's name on it, and it just exceeded my expectations in a lot of ways. So, love this A tier. The value, I think it sells for like $290 right now. That's awesome, because this is worth every penny of that. So it hits all the marks to get really high on my collectibles rank, and Game of Thrones is one of my top 3 shows of all time. So kudos to Valyrian Steel and Jalic Blades for making this awesome product. Speaking of products, stay tuned for upcoming videos. I have a lot more in queue. Really excited to bring them to you. As always, really appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed this video, throw me a like. And other than that, keep on collecting, keep on having fun, and have a great day. Thank you.